For the last 3 days, violence and mayhem has rocked parts of West Bengal. What started in Howrah on Friday soon spread to Nadia, Murshidabad and other areas over the weekend. Protests against the now suspended BJP leader Nupur Sharma's comments took a violent turn after police stations were torched and pelted. Train station was vandalized. Viewers, it's been all unfolding on your screens. Protesters had to be dispersed with lathis and tear gas shelling. But who lit the fire? Who lit this fire, viewers? Perhaps it was part of a template by certain radicals to wreak havoc across the state. One such provocation came in from Murshidabad on Friday, when the SDPI, which is the political arm of the NIA-designated radical group, the PFI, took to the streets and called for the destruction and the end of all kafirs. Yes, viewers, that is what was said in no uncertain terms. Listen in.
যেদিন 2014 27 মে নরেন্দ্র মোদী পার্লামেন্টে শপথ নিয়েছিল, সেই দিন 2014 বলেছিলাম, अगर तू ही फिरौन है, अगर तू ही फिरौन है तो जान लो मूसा भी जरूर आएगा। পুরা দুনিয়া যুগে যুগে যখনই নবীর দুশমনরা জিন্দা হয়েছে, তখনই মহান আল্লাহ তাআলা ওইকে শাস্তি দেওয়ার জন্য একজন মার্দে মুজাহিদ, একজন নবীকে পৃথিবীর বুকে পাঠিয়ে দিয়েছে।
Now, viewers, this man's hate speech was so vile that we had to bleep out certain portions of it, which were targeted at the Hindu community. You've heard the provocation yourself. Now, let me tell you that 72 hours later, this man still roams free. Contrast this inaction to the picture on the right of your screens. That picture is of a young woman who took to social media to condemn this widespread violence and asked these rioters to leave the country. She says, if that's what you want to turn India into, you're doing a disservice to our country, you should leave it. She's now been jailed in Bengal, while a cleric who openly incited violence is a free man. Viewers, what's worse is that not only is she now in jail, but Ashwini was also at the receiving end of the wrath of these very rioters. They attacked her home, completely vandalized it, and then reached the police station to continue with their violence. They targeted the policemen there, perhaps in an attempt to force them to act against this young lady. Listen to what transpired on Saturday night at this police station in Beldanga in Murshidabad. Now, the state government faces questions over their selective approach. While on the one side, free hand given to this kind of hate-mongering, otherwise there would have been action against this SPTPI member for the last 72 hours, no arrest. Contrast that with the alacrity with which this young woman was arrested. Well, the police in Bengal say they're doing all they can and no one will be spared. Listen in.
আমাদের অবভিয়াসলি ইন্টেলিজেন্স ছিল, কিন্তু সবসময় জিনিসটা এত স্পন্টেনিয়াস মাঝে মাঝে হয়, এবং যেটা বললাম অনেক সময় স্পন্টেনিটি করেও অনেক কিছু ফ্যাক্টস থাকতে পারে, অনেক কনস্পিরেসি থাকতে পারে। সেটা উই আর ট্রাইং টু ফাইন্ড আউট যে কিভাবে এক্স্যাক্টলি হলো, কেন থার্সডেতে আচানক ভিড় হলো, বা তারপরে ফ্রাইডে এক্স্যাক্টলি থার্সডে বা ফ্রাইডে তারপরে কি করে জিনিসগুলো দাঁড়ালো, সেগুলো একটু সময় লাগবে। এখন ফার্স্ট প্রায়োরিটি আছে আমাদের ল অ্যান্ড অর্ডার পুরো রেস্টোর করা, এবং সেটা তবেই পসিবল হবে যখন আমরা সব অ্যারেস্টগুলো প্রপার, যারা বদমাইশ আছেন, যারা এসব করেছেন হুলিগানিজম, যারা রেসপন্সিবল আছেন তাদের অ্যারেস্ট করা।
Not everyone is ready to buy that defense. The BJP, for instance, has been hitting the streets in Bengal over the weekend to protest the alleged appeasement policy of the ruling TMC. Mamata and her party, they say, is to blame for the mayhem. Incidentally, the same charge is being hurled back by the TMC at the BJP. What are words as usual, viewers?
There is no such incident that the Bengal is burning. There was some sporadic protest as like in other parts of India. As you know, the friend of BJP saying that they're a Muslims party but they divide vote to help BJP. There is a hand of BJP which are playing the cards of decisive politics here, because the Muslims and Hindus both in Bengal, the culture of Bengal does not permit us to think of any division among us.
इतना ईगो क्या है? ये पूरा हो रहा है इसलिए एक तो जानबूझ के जो रूलिंग पार्टी है, खास करके चीफ मिनिस्टर, उन्होंने पैट्रोनाइज कर रहा है, इंस्टिगेट कर दिया है। आज दूसरा, पुलिस को काम करने का कोई इंस्ट्रक्शन, डायरेक्शन नहीं है।
Basic open question tonight, viewers. Does identity decide your guilt in Bengal? Fundamental question. Let's open this up. Let's go straight across. First, to Dr. Santanu Sen of the TMC. Dr. Sen, thank you for speaking to Times Now. Let's hope to have a productive conversation. I have just drawn a comparison. The alacrity with which a youth called Ashwini is arrested, thrown behind bars, even though she was calling for an end to the rioting, and she said all those rioters who have done what they have done should be thrown out. And on the other side, sir, you have a cleric who has poured hate and tried to instigate large number of people in around the same area where the riots have taken place, and he's still free. Many people are saying that your identity decides your guilt. Is this true?
Yeah, good evening. First of all, I strongly believe that as a responsible political personality, or as a responsible journalist, or as a responsible and renowned anchor like you, we all have the responsibility and liability to spread the actual facts and figures through media.
Okay.
And we must not go by the tweet done by a person like Amit Malabbo, whose Facebook account and Twitter account have been repeatedly censored because of spreading false rumors.
Okay.
Let me tell you very clearly, it's not the fact that no arrest has taken place. Let me tell you, officially there have been 42 FIRs across the state of West Bengal. Till now, 200 arrests have taken place. The question is, who is responsible and who is guarding who? For one statement given by BJP spokesperson, the entire that particular statement has laid the face of country down across the universe. The entire country is burning. Look at the other states, even the BJP-ruled states also. Bengal is absolutely a peace-loving state. There are few political resources which come out during election to benefit BJP by dividing the votes, opponent votes. They are being instigated by these BJP leaders just to divert the attention of the common people, and they are instigating. But let me tell you, Bengal is a peace-loving state. Here the people are peace-loving people. They won't allow this. They won't allow this type of hooliganism. And last one second. It is the policy of BJP which has been proved time and again that they try to judge people by their dresses. BJP leaders have said this type of words earlier also, that their religion is identified by their dresses. Bengal does not support this type of culture. Communal harmony prevails in our state of Bengal. Whatever might be their effort of BJP to do divisive politics, to give by giving hate-mongering speeches and by instigating this type of hooliganism, our chief minister and our government is strict enough to control this situation.
Okay.
Already 200 arrests have taken place, and not a single culprit will be escaped, I can assure you.
Not a single culprit will escape, I can assure you. Okay, let me go back, sir. I don't know why you suggest that we would have picked up some arbitrary tweet by some character. I have no clue who this character is. I'm just going by what my reporters have told me. Nonetheless, let me rephrase the question. Was Ashwini, this young lady, a soft target and therefore jailed within minutes, even though she had been attempting to suggest to people that they should not riot and called for punishment against those who were rioting, including deportation, etc., which is not unheard of. People can say it. There's no problem in saying it. And on the other hand, this cleric, who has said far worse. I have to censor most of what he has said, sir. So why is he still free?
Let me answer you. Let me answer your question. First of all, law is same for you and me and every person. And so far the IPC, CRPC is concerned, there is a clear-cut section 153A, which speaks about the action which is supposed to be taken by any person who is trying to do this divisive politics, who is trying to deliver some hate-mongering speeches and something like that.
Okay.
And let me ensure you once again, the speeches which are being shown in your TV media, if it is under the notice of our administration, definitely stringent steps will be taken. No doubt.
Why is it not? Why
no
if?
Doubt of stringent steps.
Okay, so doctor, let me ask you, with all due respect, let me ask you. You say the law applies to everybody equally in Bengal. I have no reason to doubt it, except for the fact that the NHRC doubted it very much. The NHRC pulled you up for not applying the law equally in Bengal recently in connection with the post-poll riots, doctor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving this is a loose ball to kick a boundary.
Okay.
Let me remind you the constituents of National Human Rights Commission, which proves the integrity and individual and neutrality of this organization. This NHRC consists of, I remember, the committee of NHRC who came to your state of West Bengal, they were comprising of a lady who used to be the BJP Mohila Morcha leader of Gujarat.
Okay.
Who used to comprise
all these things have been flouted by the High Court. All these things have not been accepted by the Honorable High Court, which had ordered the inquiry.
One second, madam. I'm just coming to you. Priyanka ji, 1 minute, please. Dr. Sen hasn't finished. He's making a larger point. I'll want to come back to you, Dr. Sen. I don't know if you remember, but the Calcutta High Court had also granted police protection to 303 alleged victims of the post-poll violence in West Bengal. Was the Calcutta High Court also part of the BJP's outreach program?
Certainly not. Certainly not. Post-poll violence.
So then they found prima facie. One second. They also said the SIT was not functional. The SIT that you set up in the West Bengal post-poll violence case, the Calcutta Court said that the SIT was not functional. That was a rap across your knuckles.
I hope I would be allowed to answer your question.
Of course, please.
Our result of last assembly election came out on 2nd of May, and our new government took oath on 5th of May. The violence which you are talking about, this much of violence took place in between before our chief minister took the charge for the 3rd time. And she categorically said after 5th there was no post-poll violence, and that when the violences took place, it was under Election Commission of India, which is directly or indirectly controlled by Modi Shah Private Limited Company, not by Mamata Banerjee or Trinamool Congress.
Sir, let's put the facts out there. Let me quote the Hindu newspaper. I'm sure you won't accuse the Hindu of being part of the BJP's outreach program. A petitioner in West Bengal post-poll violence case on Tuesday approached the Calcutta High Court raising questions why the SIT is not functioning as per the instructions of the court. The 5-judge bench of the High Court on August 19, well after, sir, you took oath, ordered the constitution of the SIT comprising IPS officers Shomen Mitra, I'm sure you've heard of them, Suman Bala Sahu and Ranbir Kumar to look into the allegation other than murder and sexual assault. The High Court had said the working of the SIT shall be overviewed by a retired honourable judge, the Honourable Supreme Court, for which separate orders shall be passed after taking his or her consent. Ravi Shankar Chatterjee, counsel for petitioner Kashinath Biswas, told the bench of Acting Chief Justice Rajesh Bindal that more than 10 days have passed, but the state government has not taken steps for the functioning of the 3-member SIT. The court observed that it was aware that the SIT was not functioning and added that if required, steps would be taken. In the order, the court had directed both CBI and the SIT to file a status report to it within 6 weeks. CBI files 10 more FIRs in this matter, and this is August 31st, sir. And I can go on and on. Clearly, you were found wanting.
Again, I stick to my words which I have said previously. Most of the incidents took place in between 2nd and 5th.
It doesn't matter, sir. It doesn't mean that you...
Number two is Trinamool Congress. It's not BJP which controls and tries to control every second.
I'm sorry, sir. The High Court pulled you up. Now, you can argue this point with the High Court. I'm only pointing out what the facts are as they have appeared in newspapers, in the public domain, newspapers that you will not tell me are aligned to the BJP. Let me bring in Priyanka Tiberwal. Priyanka Tiberwal, do you agree with Dr. Sen, or do you believe that it is the BJP that has played a polarizing card by inciting all this violence?
See, 2nd of May, when the violence started in West Bengal, there was no question of any kind of polarization or whatever is happening now. See, they have always flouted the claim that there was violence ever in Bengal. Then they had to accept, because there were reports from the NHRC, then they said that all this happened before the 5th when we came into power. But later also we have seen that this violence continued for a year and is still in continuance. That is the reason the 303 victims you were talking about was my petition, which was much after the government came in and they were told by the Calcutta High Court to give protection to them. But you know, all this hate-mongering and whatever is continuing, not for a single moment have they condemned the same. We have heard Mr. Bobby Hakim, who was speaking right now. There are a number of videos by Bobby Hakim on Facebook where, rather than asking people or condemning any such kind of violence, they have instigated, they have provoked, including the Chief Minister, who in her provocative speech told the people in Bengal, those who were doing this kind of violence, she told them that please go to Delhi, go to Uttar Pradesh or any other BJP-ruled states and go and do it there. Now I question a person sitting on a constitutional chair, can she for that matter, whichever state it is all part of India. You cannot say, you cannot tell them that go and protest there, not here. And see, as a result, we have witnessed this. Day before yesterday, I went to Pachla myself, where houses and shops of one particular community were set on fire and the police was standing there as mute spectators. They could not do anything. I am asking that today also these people are saying that we want to continue with the protest. When such is the scenario in West Bengal, how can you even allow any kind of protest? When half of the places you have 144, you are not allowing people to walk on the streets. How are you allowing these kind of protests? and they were speaking about others. So I will like to pinpoint this out that if any kind of violence is taking place now, then it is the failure of the administration and the government. You see, there was violence in Jharkhand. There was violence in Uttar Pradesh. How did the government and the police handle it in a period of 24 hours? And if there is a failure, then this complete failure is of the state administration and the police of West Bengal.
Okay. Let's open this up further. We've had both the sides talk. Tausif Ahmed, how would you like to respond?
So there's no surprise that BJP spokesperson wants Bengal people to protest in Bengal, and there's a very simple reason for that. And the reason, benefit them, they will plant their own troublemakers in these troubled areas, and precisely that is I'll give you the area in Bethaudhari area. Fake news was being peddled that one police officer has been killed. The West Bengal police had to tweet and put a clarification that it is a fake news.
1 second, Mr. Ahmed, do you condemn the cleric for what he has said? Just asking simple question first. Do you condemn the cleric for what?
No, Rahul, you can ask me a follow-up question, no doubt. But let me first complete. Let me just try and expose BJP first. Why it hurts you so much? I don't understand.
Let me first 1 second. The TMC has already made that point.
What I have to say, then you can ask me a follow-up question. I am trying to expose BJP and their inferior design in Bengal, and it hurts you. You interrupt me.
Listen, don't get personal with me. Okay, I don't know who pays you. I don't know who pays you. No, 1 second. Tausif Ahmed, you want to sit here and abuse the anchor? You're not welcome to do so. You understand that? Don't get personal with me. No, listen, don't get personal with me. Do not get personal with me. I didn't stop you.
You get personal.
I have not. What have I said? I just said, would you like to react? I'm only asking you a simple follow-up question. No, 1 second. Tausif Ahmed.
I will not allow your chance.
I will count to 3. Now, 1 minute. Don't speak over each other. Everyone, lower everyone's faders. Lower everyone's faders. Viewers, we have heard for 7 minutes the TMC spokesperson talk about the BJP's double standards. We have heard another 6 minutes of the TMC spokesperson answering follow-up questions. Then we've heard Ms. Tiberwal speak the same. My question is more specific because I'm asking different questions to different panelists. Why does it matter so much to Mr. Tausif Ahmed that he has to sound like the spokesperson of the TMC? He's already there with us. I don't need another spokesperson of the TMC. I won't need you, Mr. Ahmed, then. Nonetheless, Tausif Ahmed, continue with being the spokesperson of the TMC. I'll give you 2 more minutes to continue with your TMC support. After that, just answer my question. I won't have much time on the show, unfortunately. Yes, go ahead. 2 more minutes.
Now, Mr. Rahul.
2 more minutes of backing the TMC. Go ahead.
No, it
doesn't matter to me. You go ahead. No, finish what you have to say. Back the TMC for 2 more minutes. It's okay. It doesn't bother me. Go ahead. I'm giving you the platform. Don't waste my time. 2 more minutes. Go on.
You and BJP spokesperson
lower this guy's fader. He doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to say anything. Lower the fader.
I told you, he doesn't have the...
This gentleman doesn't want to participate in a rational debate. He only wants to troll people. Okay. And viewers, we have just got inputs that we have spoken to this young youth, Ashwini, her father, spoken to Times Now exclusively. Listen in, after the arrest, our house was vandalized. It didn't stop there. We filed a complaint against vandalism. Ashwini's father, however, alleges inaction. A large number of proxy TMC supporters will not see Ashwini's pain. They don't care because what they are being obviously offered to do here on Times Now is to speak against anchors, spread hate against anchors, get those anchors killed, beaten, thrashed, thrown into jail. That's what they want, viewers. They don't want anything much more than that. And we should book some of these people, viewers, for spreading hate against people. They should be booked for that. Nonetheless, let's play out what the father has told Times Now.
ওই মেয়ে একটা পোস্ট করেছিল, তাই তো?
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
পোস্টটা করেছিল যে যাদের ভালো লাগবে দেশে তারা থাকতে পারে, না হলে দেশ ছেড়ে চলে যেতে পারে।
হুম
এইটাকে নিয়ে মানে এখানকার মুসলিমরা মানে একটা অশান্তি দাঙ্গা টাইপের ক্রিয়েট করেছিল।
হুম
থানা ভাঙচুর, বাড়িঘর ভাঙচুর,
হুম
এবং মেয়ের অ্যারেস্ট চাই,
হুম
অ্যারেস্ট করানো হয়েছিল। তার সত্ত্বেও তারা পরবর্তী ভাঙচুর, থানা এবং বাড়িঘর এসব করে।
হুম
Well, viewers, this remains a main focus here on Times Now. Look at the contrast. A cleric that spews hate of the vilest kind is free. A young woman who calls for peace in the state, saying that rioting must stop and the rioters must be punished, if possible with deportation, is taken and jailed. And it doesn't end there. Her house is destroyed verbally. Viewers, and the world is obsessing about bulldozer justice under Yogi. Deshratan Nigam, what do you make of this?
Rahul, in fact, if you look at the entire, law and order situation in West Bengal, we must make it clear this is about people of West Bengal. It is not about BJP or TMC. The way the cultured people of Bengal have been taken for a ride, and Bengal today has become one of the most violent states at the public level. I'm not talking about crime, I'm not talking about minor incidents of law and order. The fire has been lit by PFI very clearly, and as you said, the cleric is still roaming outside freely and still spewing venom wherever he gets the chance. And at the same time, and you saw a person speaking on your channel, when they don't have any merit to speak of, then the anchor is attacked. And my experience has shown, and I've seen in various channels, when you have nothing on fact or merit or logic, attack the anchor. That's the standard operating procedure.
Well, that's the standard SOP. Time is ticking, viewers. Time is ticking. A young woman's life hangs in the balance, so to speak. Her father is desperately making pleas, telling us what she's gone through. She's jailed. Hate mongers, especially this one on your screen, is still free. Make up your mind. I leave it at this.